Here with
My name is Nikki.
Nikki.
Yeah, Nicole, Nikki.
And how long have you been out here?
I've been homeless out here for the past 6 years. And in that time, I have almost lost my arm.
Really?
Yeah, I had a flesh eating bacteria upon cellulitis going to my arm. And it took St. David's North Austin Medical 5 days to realize they had to drain it again. So they did this all the way in the middle, all the way up. And I almost wanted to amputate my arm because why? I didn't have major medical insurance. But I'm a pimp, so I survived that.
Major medical insurance.
I had MAP, so
What does
that's
that
it.
allow you to do?
Well, it does allow me to go see the doctor and get my medication for free. I am a type 2 diabetic, and that's really where this kind of compounded from. Cellulitis is known to latch on to diabetics, and then I had that MRSA get in there, and it started pretty much eating my arm up. My arm blew up like a balloon, and they discharged me from the hospital, from the ER. I went back the second day, and they were calling plastics and rushed me into the OR from the ER. The rest is kind of a blur. It was pretty much bone to bone.
Can I see that? I mean, just throw it. That's pretty gnarly, man.
It was bone to bone.
So do you have any problems stretching out that arm? Does it feel weird?
I do, and my hand is permanently to my curves because they cut in the middle of my hand. They cut here and here and here and here because my whole hand was blown up to drain my hand and my arm. It was almost all the way to my shoulder. And had they admitted me that first night, probably could have saved a lot of scars on my arm. I get a lot of stereotyping looks, if you will. But I see this is my battle scar that I survived, and I'm a survivor. And to be able to be homeless and deal with everything out here in the elements is hard enough, but to do it with this, compounded with about a year and a half after this happened, I fell and broke my hip. I had hip replacement surgery and was let out of the hospital a week later. And, to make a living, I do fly sign. That couldn't stop then. I had to eat, and I had to make sure that I had the means to take care of whatever I wanted to take care of. So I would get on with my walker with my broken hip, and I would go up to Palmer Metric at the McDonald's, and I'd sit on the wall and I'd fly my sign. They saw me heal from this, and they saw me heal from my hip, and I still have a little waddle, if you will, but again, it's just another battle scar that I will not let this beat me. I'm from Austin. I was born and raised here. My family has several times seen me on corners panhandling, and just the look on their face of disappointment, not disgust, but disappointment.
What is that like? Flying a sign, living in a shelter, and your family sees you. That's interesting.
It's humbling. Breaking. I had big shoes to fill with my mom. My mom passed 11 of cancer, and I was her mini-me. So everybody had a high expectation for me ever since I was born, pretty much. My dad was not around very much, and when he wasn't ready for a kid, and he wasn't ready for a family. So he and my mom divorced, and her cancer got worse. She went to cancer treatment centers in California twice a year, and I would go in tow with her. And finally, she gave up. She stopped not wanting to have the sugar and have a rasta, a snow cone. If I get you one, I'm gonna have one, and you can't tell Grandma. And I didn't understand the severity that it was doing to her body, because I'm now a type 2 diabetic. And just this past October was hospitalized, almost died, being at the shelter. They didn't check on me, and he had just gotten kicked. My husband had just gotten kicked out. And so I had nobody there to really check on me. And my A1C doubled from a 7 to a 14 in a week. My sugar.
What does that mean?
That means I had my sugar have a my blood was turning septic. It was poison, which means I was dying. And the hospital did not want to, they don't want to admit you nowadays unless they absolutely have to. And I knew when they admitted me, I could not keep any fluids down. I was dehydrated. I had, stuff coming in and out from everywhere. I looked like the Exorcist, expelling liquids, and my tongue, I was so thirsty, my tongue felt like sandpaper. Mm. And yet I couldn't have anything to drink.
So I'm curious, you said you had MAP, right?
Yeah.
How did you get assistance with the teeth? You said that you had
my teeth, yeah.
Yeah. How did you get? Because a lot of people think that since they have MAP, they don't get access to that.
Oh no, and I thought that as well until I inquired about it through the medical assistance program MAP in Travis County. You have to be a resident, but you go to a dentist and you get a plan together with them. Now they'll put you on a plan of extractions if they want to do a partial. I started off with getting all of my uppers removed, and I had a top plate. Then I had, all of my bottoms were really bad because I had a lapse in going, because I lost my home and then I became homeless. I had MAP before I was homeless. So you don't have to be homeless to get MAP. You can still get help if you need it. But you just have to follow your dental plan. I finally got the rest of my teeth extracted all at once. They did IV sedation, put me under and took them all out and put my stitches in. And it took me probably about 2 weeks.
That's a major problem out here is people don't have teeth.
Right. And oral care it's the nastiest part of your body, and bacteria is in your mouth. It'll kill you. There's people that have had an abscess in their tooth and it's killed them because it ruptures, they swallow that poison and you will die.
Joshua has a question.
Sure, Joshua.
Does her insurance be able to pay her insulin that she has to take?
Yes, it does. And I'm actually on Lantus and the PIN, and they do pay for it 100%. I'm also on Victoza that helped lower my A1C, and I lost weight and I'm getting healthy again, which is amazing. So I did a full, complete turnaround with my health, and by the grace of God, I have the best doctor team. Dr. Mercer, you're awesome, out there that has been my cheerleaders ever since I've had my arm done in 2021.
Type 2 diabetes is hereditary?
Yes.
So your entire family has that?
They did, yeah. All my family's gone.
How can you lessen the probability?
Well, you just have to change your mindset and you gotta get a different sweet tooth than chocolates and high sugars. You can get, there's different sweets that you can have. You even have to watch out for fruit. Natural sugars are not good for you either. So you just have to get informed, and you have to really study up on the do's and don'ts and what you can and cannot have for diabetes, because the time that my A1C doubled, I was drinking 2 double big gulps, not extra, like double Slurpees a day during the summer. Not a good idea. That's a lot of sugar. And it's basically poisoning your body. So for diabetics, that sugar is like a cancer, or slowly cutting. I mean, you're killing yourself by injecting all of this poison. So you just have to do like carob. I remember my mom had diabetes and she didn't eat chocolate, she ate carob. Peanut butter, kind of to jazz that up with different spices. But there's a diabetic cookbook out there, and it's hard, it's not easy at all. I actually like Coke Zero now. It's the only diet or soda that I can drink that is okay to my palate, where I can manipulate my mind to thinking I'm still having that Coke. Because what can I say? I like my Coca-Colas. So
sugar is the enemy to
diabetics, absolutely, and it's a silent killer.
But that's a drug addict's favorite snack.
It is.
Right?
Well, yeah.
You feel me?
Chocolate and just sodas in general, it takes the taste out of your mouth. I've been an addict since I was 19 years old, and
What is an addict?
it's a disease I have that I just cannot. I My mom died when I was 11, and then my best friend was shot and killed in front of me when I was 16, right across the street at a carnival, across the street from my house. And then just family and friends over the years that have passed away, and abandonment issues where I've masked it with crack cocaine. For 25 years I did crack cocaine. Did not let people know I did crack. Of course, some people knew, but I worked, and I was which means that I pretty much would disappear and go to Torchicon in a trap house with no electricity and nothing, and smoke crack.
By yourself?
Well, with people I didn't even know, but it's like I didn't care. I am so lucky to be alive right now. I've been in so many bad situations. 12th and Chicon is not the best neighborhood in Austin, and I've got some really good guardian angels in heaven watching out for me, because I was literally driven to my death. They were going to steal my truck. They were going to stab me, or cut me up and leave me, and they were taking me to the fields out off Runberg. Something made them change their mind.
Do you think you've hit the last rock bottom yet?
Yeah, I do. And I have, in these last year, I have made such a tremendous turnaround with my doctor's appointments, with actually going to my doctor's appointments. And when I do get there, my doctors hug me every single time before they come and see me. And they call the team of everybody, my psychiatrist, my pharmacist, my MAT doctor, my PCP, everybody. I'll be there for 5 hours, and I was only supposed to be seeing one doctor, because they know if they got me there, they need to get me in with everybody. So I do believe I've hit my rock bottom this time. I'm 50 years old, and I've been doing this since I was 19. That's a lot of years.
19 years on the street?
19 years old. So
19 years old on the street?
Not really on the street, but really, I was never at home, because I didn't want to do drugs at my house and have my family see me at first. And then, so I was always on the street, but I didn't. And I stay in hotels or in my truck or in a trap house. And I've been doing that, yeah, since I was 19, put myself in bad situations. But actually being homeless, there's been 2 stints in my life. One was with my ex back in 2007. For 3 years, I lived under the Ben White Congress Bridge, and I flew my sign there, and that was right in the heart of where my family was. I grew up right there, and I didn't care. I didn't give a damn. I had an addiction that I had to feed, and I had a husband's addiction that I had to feed as well, because I was the one that supported that, and it was hell. Crack cocaine is not cheap. Making $20 out there sometimes is not very easy, which I will show y'all how I make money later, hopefully. But yeah, I'm done. It made me feel so good to hear my doctors tell me how proud they were of me, of the big turnaround that I've made in the last 3 months, and that I'm the patient that has made the most, has a busy success turnaround in the last 3 months with my health. I stay on top of everything. I am in the Northbridge shelter, which is not the best place, but I'm still grateful. It's a humbling experience, and you have to pretty much deprogram your mind of street mentality back to being a productive member of society. And it's hard to deprogram that, because you have a defense mechanism that you have to put up immediately when you're homeless. I'm naive, and I trust everybody, and everybody's my friend, and no, they're not. They're just not. People are there, and they're friendly until your means of them being friendly is gone, if that makes sense. When you have something to offer, drugs, party favors, what have you, people are going to stay around. But when that is gone, every single time, and I would go home crying, after just being heartbroken, because it's like, well, when you're done, you're out. you don't need, you're taking up space and opportunity for another lick to come in this trap house and for us to make money off of. You need to bounce. You need to go home, and I'll never come back here again. And next weekend, don't you know, Friday at noon, it would make me physically sick till I got that first hit. And then it's like, why am I doing this to myself? I said, because I would just stay, it would paralyze me to where I couldn't move, I couldn't talk, I couldn't do anything.
What?
Crack cocaine.
Really? I thought that was a stimulant.
It is, but I'm so ADHD already. I think it just, I was really chatty at first on it, to be honest, but after I'd been involved in trap houses with many different kick stores with the police, and my uncle was the head of the vice department, which is prostitution and drugs in Austin, Texas. So I didn't really want to be involved in any kind of kick doors, because then what's happened? Nikki's out there doing drugs, so the cat's out of the bag. The whole family will know. And they did anyway, and they love me from a distance, and I don't blame them.
Timothy's curious to why people do drugs.
Reason that I did it was really to mask the hurt and the pain that I felt in whatever situation. I didn't have to feel anything. I didn't have to give a damn. And I don't know what it is about cocaine and crack, but that is definitely the devil's drug. There's no bounds to crack. My family would give me money. I never was resorted to selling my body. I never did anything of that nature. I actually sold dope. I went to the School of Hard Knocks on 12th and Chicon and went under the old school's umbrellas, and they told me how to slang crack, chop it up and sell it. And I supported my habit that way and made money.
So you used to be a crack dealer?
I did. I went by Sunshine.
Well, how many years did you do that?
Oh gosh, off and on for 10.
10 years.
And I never went to jail, thank God.
You never got caught up?
Never did.
Just a rarity.
It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And the old schools told me that. You don't shit in your own backyard. In other words, you don't sit there and tell people where you lie your head. It's dangerous. If you're a dealer and you have somebody meet you, you're not going to take them to mama's house, or your grandma's house, or your baby mama's house, because if something goes wrong, they're going to light your house up. I learned that the hard way, and I had a disadvantage because it is a colors game in that game, and I'm white. Well, I'm half Mexican, half Irish.
But you're Sunshine.
But I'm Sunshine. And back then, I was pretty darn cute. I just had the personality to go along with it, and I made money, and I had people that I knew that were automatic clients.
2000s or what?
That was in the late 90s.
The late 90s. That was when that drug reached a real good peak there, right?
Yep.
Crack in the
It was
80s.
97, and my dealers went to jail, and I had both their pagers, and I had the man's number, and I called their dealer, and he sat there and told me to come over. He put me in the game. He gave me dope, chopped it up, knew I smoked and had to deal with me. He goes, if you do what you are taught to do. I had already been their driver, their gopher. I would make their runs for them, so I had already built rapport with all their clients. They all loved me more than they liked them because they were, who they were. So when they went to jail, I took over. With a vengeance, I took over, and I would try to lay low, and then I let people know where I stayed, and I told them come over here and get off Old Torf, because Old Torf was a bad area. It was really bad over there.
Why do I keep hearing people saying it takes a criminal to catch a criminal?
It does. You got to know behavior. You got to know areas. You've got to know body language. Yeah. I've never been to prison, and I've just grew. It's a hard knock life. I sat there and grew up around it and put myself in it, and I've always been very observant. I would sit back and watch. And I've been in sales all of my life, so I have that gift of gab. But when your addiction takes you to where you're trying to sell your homeboy a peanut and portray that as crack cocaine, And they're like, sunshine. I was like, it really is. It's new. It's new. That's chocolate rock. It's peanut butter.
Nah.
Oh, I did. Oh,
You
they were
used
so
a
mad at me.
peanut to finesse people with a crack cocaine.
I almost got away with it. I
They
was
started
like,
calling you New Peanut after that.
They were just like, there's some respect for you, dog. You don't need to do it like that. If you're that hard up, come holler at somebody. And I would be able to support my own habit, make change in my pocket, take care of my vehicle. But my weakness was the boys. I was single and was doing my thing, and these guys would see that and want to come on board with that, but it would always end up hindering me in the end because I smoked up that I had to decide. Then they would, we were smoking, so there went half the profit, and then my profits weren't adding up, and then it would just blow up. So
now, Nicole, I don't know if you want to bring this to light, but I interviewed a woman named Tink Tink.
Yeah.
She was your roommate.
She
That's
was.
how I met you.
Yep.
But what happened with that?
She basically lied to you guys, and it's a shame. Several people gave her money to get Dakota out. And Dakota did put his hands on her, but the person that you interviewed and that was on your channel is a total manipulator. That's not who she is. And this guy, I saw him be okay away from her, and then he gets out of jail and she shoots him up and gets the monster right back in him again. Why would you get somebody out of jail just to harm them? Put them back in harm's way. If anything, they were supposed to go to rehab together, but she stole from me, and it's like, dude, I was in the hospital with my diabetes for 7 days because my A1C had doubled. This young lady went in my purse and took my cigarettes and smoked them. I got out of the hospital without her knowing and just popped in, and her eyes got about that big. She's like, oh, because she knew. The first thing I went for was my purse. I needed a cigarette bad, That bitch didn't want to leave me a half a cigarette. I could have snapped her neck. I was like, dude, look, just go to the store and get it. She did. There was not a problem. I let that go. I'm older, I'm wiser. I was hoping that she could change because I saw a part of her that I thought would, but what I realized in the end, it was just a manipulative mechanism, because she will even say herself, let me talk to them because I have a gift of gab and manipulation that others might not have. And I was sitting there and go, oh, really? Okay. Little stuff just would end up missing. My food from my mouth that I had my surgery, she ate that. I would buy stuff on my food stamps, and I'll give you anything if you ask. Brand new box of cereal that I was actually going to give my husband. She took it upon herself to open the cereal, open the milk. I hadn't even gotten to get into my Fruity Pebbles with marshmallows that I'm not supposed to be eating. And she took it upon herself to just help herself. And then when I would maybe help myself to something of hers, she got a lock for her locker, and this bitch put it in her locker and locked it up. I said, oh, we're going to do it like that. Okay, I see how you are now. I'm seeing true colors come up and merge. I let that slide. The straw that broke the camel's back is when I sat there and she found out, oh, you're telling people I stole from you? Well, you are. Petty shit. And you think that I'm not going to say anything. She doesn't bring it up. She never addresses it. I let it go, so she thinks that she's gotten away with it. Hey!
You hear that horn?
Hey! That one of my fans say, oh.
That sounds crazy, actually.
That is cool. I just pray for her. I didn't want her to get kicked out of there because I love her cats. And God, that situation with God dying, God and Loki got in fights because of Dakota and him showing fear.
But she got thrown out for all that?
She got thrown out because of
she got thrown out of the shelter. So she's now staying out on the street because she was, what did they have on her?
She said that she had a job. Do you remember that?
No.
She said she was going to go work for 7-Eleven.
Okay.
And she had a job as a cleaning person at night. Well, the shelter wanted to see proof of that. you're supposed to be having income come in so they can get you out. She's already been through Northbridge once and they've already sheltered her. They weren't going to do that again. It was totally up to her and Dakota at this time to get jobs and get out of there on their own. Northbridge had already sheltered her and given them all the funding the first time. You know, other people need it. You shouldn't be coming back after they already got you an apartment, and you let it go because it came a trap house. She went to jail from what I understand, and Dakota was there partying it up. Well, you know, that's a shame because there's so many different resources out there that people can reach out to that'll help you with your rent, your utilities. And with Northbridge, I've come to find out that these case managers, they were hired on well before they were trained. I knew more than they did about resources, and I'm helping myself. I'm applying for my disability. I qualify for free permanent supportive housing, and I'm sure I qualify for disability, but I'm not done living. I want to go back and go to work, and I've got a great job interview, please, Lord, on Monday with a company that I've been praying on. I give everything to God. I talk to God every day, all the time, to direct me, because without Him, I'm nothing. And He's directing me towards this company. He's directing me towards to work. He's directing me towards maybe my experience, strength, and hope that I've pulled out from this hole, black hole that I've been keep going sucked back into over the past 30 years of my life. Maybe can save somebody a little bit younger to where they don't have to go through so much heartache, so much pain. But God built an ark when He built me, and they say He doesn't give you more than you can handle, but damn, sometimes I wonder, you know.
Would you commit to sobriety if there was a job that you were basically like, you know, a public worker? That woman we saw today?
Yeah.
You would commit to sobriety?
Oh, yeah.
Are you currently sober?
No.
What is your DOC?
Meth. It's meth now. Meth got me over crack, but it's not any better, you know. And the thing of it is that I have cut down tremendously. I really, truly have. I mean, I used to be able to do a ball by myself.
What is a ball?
A ball is 3.5 grams.
Of amphetamine? What? At one time?
No. Yeah, no. I would do that in about a week, maybe less than a week, you know.
That's a lot, considerably?
It's a lot, because I was just doing it like crack. I didn't know the difference. So I was clucking around town like a maniac, seeing the shadow people and going, oh my God, you know, I was taking too much. I spend $5 to $10 a day sometimes now, and $10 might last me 2 days if I'm by myself. I do it for energy, I do it, but I made a deal with my mat doctor and with my doctor that I'm done. I'm saying nope. I really want to go back to school, and I want to get into, I would love to work in addiction therapy. I would love to be able to be like a peer mediator or a counselor or a substance abuse counselor.
Because you've been in that cave, right?
Yeah, I have. And not just
You're
with
in the cave right now.
Yeah, I am. I'm still in the cave, but there's light at the end of my tunnel now that I'm actually going towards instead of kind of turning my back to.
Do you believe that it's going to take you getting out of the shelter for you to really reach your potential there?
In a way, yes, but in a way, no. I really would love to go to inpatient or outpatient, intensive outpatient therapy or treatment, which is just like going to residential, but you don't spend the night, go to class, pretty much Monday all week. It's where I can get grounded with a different realm of people that have the same goals and same mindset, get my mindfulness right, get my humility back right, and just woosah and get back to myself, because I haven't been myself. You know, they say that you stop growing when you start using. Well, then I'm a 19-year-old, 50-year-old.
That's what the chat was saying actually earlier.
Yeah, I'm a 19-year-old, 50-year-old.
They were saying that you never got a chance to develop. You're
Nope.
just going to be stuck as a kid.
Yeah.
You really believe that?
I do. Because I would blow stuff off and not really take it seriously until my uncles died. That was a big wake-up call for me and him both, me and my husband both. I had, my twin uncles were the last of my mom's family, and I lived with my family pretty much all my life because I was a drug addict. Yeah, I worked, but to support my habit. And shame on me, I had a lot of pain and guilt and shame and remorse for my behavior and the way that I conducted myself. But my uncles forgave me on their deathbeds, both of them. And I was grateful to have that forgiveness because I didn't feel worthy. But today I know I was, because I'm covered by the blood of the Lamb, and I know that I'm forgiven by Christ Jesus and God, and that if he can forgive me, so can my uncles. No matter what any other of my family say, no matter who else may hate, and this, I know that I'm okay because I put my God first. And I know that if I continue to pray for an exit and pray for a different solution and pray for doors to open and for me to be aware and open my eyes to an opportunity that I might have been blinded to before, things are going to happen, because miracles happen every day. And I'm ready. I really am. I love my husband, and me and him have been through a lot in the past 15 years. And I just want us to be able to, I want to be an example, if I have to be, for him, to know that, hey, you know what? Somebody can do it, and I can do it. If I can do it, if my low-class ghetto ass can do it, so can you. If I have to hold you on my wings and carry you for a minute, I will, because that's how much love I have for my Triple G back here that y'all might have seen. So, and Loki, you know, that's my baby. He used to lay on my chest right here. But that big son of a bitch used to lay on my chest, and I would rock him to sleep. He was 5 weeks old.
If you stay connected to this environment, do you think you're ever going to get sobriety?
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, you have to disconnect it to mindset. And there's going to be drugs everywhere. You know, I have met some of my best dealers in AA. Just saying, it's a shame, but there's a lot of people that go and prey on AAers or people in Narcotics Anonymous because they know that they might hit them on a weak point. And there you go, bam, you got your new customer, your new lick, your new person that you're going to sit there and bring down and possibly ruin their life forever. And I've got a lot of life left to live, but maybe not. My next 30 years is kind of reaching since I'm 50 now, but I take life, I love my life, and I want to be able to live it. I'm just existing right now. I want to live. I want to be part of society.
Why in 2026 is it so hard to find a symbiotic relationship?
Because I think people are afraid to show genuinely who they really are, and they're afraid to put themselves out there and lay their heart out, maybe because they've gotten hurt, maybe there's different, of course, reasons for everybody, but I think that drugs have a lot to do with it. Trust, that messes with trust and respect.
You think it's like values?
Yeah. And
people's values?
And ethics, values, morals. It all goes back to the 10 Commandments. Do, you know, the golden rule, do unto others as you want to have done unto you. Pay it forward when you can. Do not steal, do not kill, do not, you know. There's a lot to be said about the 10 Commandments. And I have always had the Lord with me, but not that I'm saying you worship and you have your higher power to what, you can have a tree as your higher power as long as you have it.
Explain that to me.
I've heard that in AA. So they don't force religion on you. And a lot of people have, like Buddha, or they do Wicca, or they have different, other than God.
So you're basically saying, depending on the view of which you look through,
Mm-hmm.
you might interpret and define God differently.
Correct. Yeah. As long as you can sit there and say, okay, you know what, Tree, we're going to do this today, Tree. And I know with my faith in you, Tree, that this is going to happen in your name, Tree. And you really, really believe that, like I do with God. Because I know God the Father is going to take care of me. He's going to meet my needs. Maybe not my wants, but he will always meet my needs.
Johnny said, man, you know a lot for only being 26.
Thank you. I'm a wise old bird, but I'm 50. I've been there. And like I said, I sit there and watch and pay attention. And you can't put I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm naive. I give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm friendly. I'm kind. But there's got to be a limit because people will walk all over you. And they did for a minute there. And it changed me for a little bit. But when I met my husband, he talked me into going into Austin Recovery, which I'm an alumni, proudly. And I was good. And, well, you know, when you're in a new little romantic relationship, sometimes a little cocaine will get the guy with spices going with your intimacy and breaking the breaking the mold and kind of, getting to know each other without being so shy. And we just kind of took that to a different level.
See, the problem with bringing drugs into a relationship is you may never get to know someone.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's true. And it took me 50 years. I've been with him for 15 years, and it's taken those every minute of me, and I still know him. But you know what? I want to know him, and I want to love him, and I want to bring him out of the shell because he's such a great man. And
you see the potential.
I do.
But
I do.
It's getting hindered by what?
It's getting hindered by people that see you come up one step and knock you down 5. They don't like to see you succeed because you might not be there to help them get high or help them do an illegal act and fall for them.
Say that one more time. It's one step.
You take one step up to make them kick you down 5.
Could they be yourself?
Sure.
Usually it is, right?
Oh yeah, because in essence, you have to think about it's your decision whether you do or you don't. And like I say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You can tell them how great life is going to be and how this isn't when you're sober, but until they experience that spiritual awakening and just how good you'll feel overall, they're not going to know, and they're not going to want to know.
Nicole, how many times have you done 360 degrees across the sun?
Too many. Too many. I don't know. I can't answer. I'm not quite sure. How many do you think?
How many do I think?
Yeah.
Realistically, 46.
Yeah, probably so.
Is that close?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to be peaceful, and I just want to live the life that my family had. My family was I didn't grow up in a alcoholic or drug-induced family. My grandmother and my uncles raised me. My mom, and they kind of got thrown, hey, it's a girl, when she died. I mean, we did live with them because my mom was sick, but my mom died. They didn't realize that she wasn't taking her medicine, and she died pretty suddenly on them. And I didn't want to go live with my dad because I love my dad, but I didn't know him. I didn't want to go to Dallas. I knew everybody here. So my family sacrificed so much for their sister's sake with me that I'm not going to let the Gonzalez name go in vain because I can't stop a drug that I should have never picked up in the first place.
What would you say to the Gonzalezes if they could hear this and see you right now?
That I am making progress, and I am trying harder than I think I ever have in my life to make things right. And I don't let other people's opinions or perspectives bring me down anymore, because that's what's held me down in the past. So I love my family. I will always love my family. And even if I don't ever talk to them again, I know that I love them and that I've made mistakes. We all fall, but my ass is actually getting back up little by little. You have to crawl before you can walk. And I'm in the midst of in between trying to stand up. So
Would you want to rekindle something with them?
absolutely. I miss my cousins desperately. I didn't have brothers or sisters growing up, but I had my cousins, Lori and Chrissy. And when my uncles died, it was a nasty, and I had to sell the house because I couldn't afford it. It was my grandparents' house. It was falling apart. My uncles didn't have the money to fix it because they had me as a drug addict niece that they dished money out to. But they also they fixed the roof. They fixed the things that they had to. Right? You have to have the damn roof on there, so they're gonna fix that. But there was termite damage. They had a rat infestation. There was bed. I mean, and they spent money on it, but it's like they never fixed the foundation. They never fixed, the sheetrock that you need to and I couldn't afford it. They were VA. They were senior citizens, so they had those two discounts on the rent. They had two mortgages on the house that I didn't know about, which was, like you said, it was none of my business until now. My uncle, they died 6 weeks and 2 days apart. One we knew, one we didn't, but the one we didn't stayed alive with chemotherapy and radiation that was tearing him up and putting him through a lot of pain, just so he could will the house to me because he didn't have a will. He didn't know he was dying. He had an acute aggressive form of cancer that took him out within a week, and it would have been sooner if he hadn't treated it, all just to make sure that I had a place to stay, that he had a place to stay. Because my uncle said, he goes, "What are you going to do when I die?" I said, "Quit talking like that. You're not going to die." And never in my wildest dreams did I think I would be at where I am today, in my own hometown. But your friends can only sit there and watch you die slowly and do stupid shit and sit there and try to take advantage of them and anything else you can for so many years until they give up on you. And I said some pretty hateful things. My cousin said some pretty hateful things, my oldest cousin. And she has not talked to me since I sold the house. And what happened was that was considered a homestead. And they had to sign, and they were entitled to part of the money that I sold that house for. I grew up in that house. They had houses and husbands and cars. I lived there all my life, and I took care, or tried to, as best me and him could. He took care of my uncles up until their dying breath. And their husbands didn't mind did, though. And I will forever be grateful for that. They loved him, and we tried to do the best that we could, but when you take $35,000 and you split it by 3 and compact 2 funerals, expenses and everything on top of that, I kind of got the short end of the stick. But that's okay, because I didn't do right by that money anyway. I masked. I stayed at the extended stay right here across the street on Rumberg and 35, I think it is. And was in that place and didn't hardly come out, smoking crack 24/7 the entire time I was there, because I didn't want to feel my uncle's loss. That was the loss of my family, and I just could not bear that. It couldn't be it. It couldn't be over. This cannot be done. This can't be happening.
How would you describe your relationship with God?
It gets stronger every day, but I had let go of his hand because I thought that he had turned his back and abandoned me because my uncles died. No, he took his sons home. My uncles didn't. They always used to say, "There's no God. That son of a bitch, and when I go up to heaven, I'm gonna punch him in the mouth." And I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, "You can't say," because my mom was sick, and they had me and all these responsibilities of my one uncle. He only had one job. He worked at the IRS for 51 years. admirable. I don't know anybody else that's ever worked just one job their entire life. And he was just tired. He was tired of having to put up with my shit, put up with anybody that I brought home with me shit. You know, he was just tired. And I mean, I would just tell them, you know what, I'm gonna make y'all proud that I'm your namesakes, and I'm make y'all proud that I'm your sister's daughter. I'm a mom. I may make you proud that you didn't love me in vain. You didn't sit there and raise me to be a lady and a decent human being and kind and compassionate in vain. I want to be able to help others to where they don't have to go through as much pain as they want to go through.
You said this earlier. One grateful lioness said, yeah, the streets will suck the life out of you.
It will suck the life out of you.
You said that earlier.
I did. And they did. And then I said, you know what? One day I said, I'm not gonna let this beat me. I'm a strong woman, and I battled this and this and this and that and that. I'm gonna make it this time. My ringtone on my phone is fight song. Take back my life. Prove that I'm all right. Do the next right thing. Pay it forward and make a difference. And if I don't, so be it. But I'm gonna make sure that I am healthy and I'm happy and I have my family back together, because with us being separated and ripped apart, it's hard. He thinks I'm ignoring him. I think he's ignoring me. I think he's doing this. He thinks I'm doing that. And we're not. But you have so many people telling you that he is and she is. No, I've been loyal, faithful to him since day one.
You mentioned support system earlier.
Mm-hmm.
What does your support system look like currently?
I actually where's my support system? I really don't have anybody. My roommate there, I won't disclose any name for privacy, but she has been my new roommate, not TT, God bless her, crazy ass. But she's been a ray of hope in a direction. She kind of disappointed me a little last night, but that's okay. People are not here to please me, and I'm not here to judge them. But I think just kind of looking into resources and staying busy, trying to go back to school. I really want to go and get a diploma or get certified as a medical biller in coding, so I can actually do that from home. I've always wanted to work in healthcare, but I'm also wanting to do the substance abuse counseling. So I found a school that's free called Allison School, guys. If you want to go to school, you can do it for free online. Allison, Allison School.
Really?
You can get diplomas, certificates. They've got free courses. It is CLEP certified. I used to be an enrollment counselor at WGU, Western Governors University, right here off of Oak Knoll and 183. So I know kind of what to look for. But yes, you can go there and at least get a feel for what you guys want to do with a trade or with your life. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to stay busy. I don't really do AA as much anymore. I do more of I'm leaning on God. And I'm actually going to probably entertain going to Red Rocks this Sunday. I've been wanting to do it for over a year and a half. And I just haven't quite made it there yet, and it's right across the street. But and I think that was really because of me flying my sign here, and people probably know, they see me. When I go out there, I entertain and I interact with everybody. Because if I can get a smile out of somebody, that's still paying me. That's still paying me. People don't understand. That pays me because that makes my heart feel good. That makes me happy. That makes me smile. If I can joke around and even break your day brighter, then I got paid too. You don't have to have the cash. Don't worry about it. Maybe next time I see you. Definitely not begging for it. But I have to do something to survive until I can get a job and slowly integrate back into the workforce, which I've let so many of my bosses down, and because I was one of their top dogs. I was one of their trainers, and hell, Lucas, when I worked at Alternative Script, he sent me to rehab. My insurance paid for it. He held my spot. He actually let me get my commission check, which normally if you're not there, you're not going to get it. He let me have it because He loved me that much, and I let him down. The day I got out of treatment, I started using because he was in jail. And not to saying that it's his fault. I should never, if anything, I should have made sure that I stayed at that sober at Great Oaks a little bit longer. I went to Egypt. There is a bumfuck Egypt, Texas, y'all. It's real. Great Oaks Recovery Center in Egypt is one of the best places for recovery, and it's state funded. So.
And you participated there?
I did. That was my second residential treatment, and
So
I
you're
was
an
not
example
ready.
of failure, right?
I am.
Fair to
But
say.
I want to be an example of turning that into, she actually did it, and be a success story instead of being that failure all the time.
I don't know how Egypt would like getting their name shout out by somebody still addicted.
Well, you know, it's one day at a time, they say in recovery. It's 1 second at a time if you have to, because it really is a disease. People just, if you have done that all of your life like I have, you really have to reprogram your mind. And you have to be around, and you have to take the time and not be so stubborn.
Yeah.
What was I trying to get back to in a rush for? He was taking care of himself. I should have really focused on myself and got myself better, because if I'd stayed there 15, 55, 60, or even done the journey for 90, I think I would have made it. You know, those first 30 days and 30 nights, that's why they give you that red chip. It's red hot. It's like it's a fire under your ass that you
Go back out where?
Going back out means going back to use. I have a lot of people that were my old sponsors that still.
No, it's okay. I'm cutting it. We can hear you again? Can y'all hear me? Yes, no? Okay, bet. All right, guys, we're cutting it right here. It's getting dark out here now. I have another live stream planned for tonight. So don't worry, this is not going to be it. I'm about to start getting active. I took a little short break in real time, and now we're back at it again. We have something interesting planned tonight. I'm going to be going into a bit of a different environment, and I'm going to be asking people questions they probably haven't heard. They probably haven't heard this specific type of question asked to them in a while in the environment they'll be in. So this will be interesting. I'm just going to give you guys that one little hint. And I'll be up. It's Friday, heard you. I'm going to start it around 9:30. And you guys stay tuned for that. God bless you guys. Love you, all you guys. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to do something cool with this community. God bless y'all in real time. See you next time. Peace.